With cheers and signs and even T-shirts calling for justice, subway cleaner Anthony Nelson showed up at court with no shortage of support. His attorneys advised him not to speak, but his arm in a sling and the frequent grimaces of pain on his face showed how hurt he's been. So do these pictures of him in the hospital on Thursday of last week after his nose and collarbone were broken after Nelson had responded to two riders who said a man was harassing passengers. Police say it was this man who gave the beatdown, 49-year-old Alexander Wright, who they also say has at least 40 prior arrests.
We want to see him behind bars, which is what he deserves.
Nelson's sister spoke for the family before they headed into court. Wright, the alleged attacker, waived his right to appear in person, but that didn't stop a grand jury from indicting him on felony assault and harassment charges. In court was the head of the MTA, CEO Jano Lieber, along with the president of the subway and bus system, Richard Davey of New York City Transit. Everyone in the courtroom applauded when the indictment was unsealed. Wright is being held on $5,000 bail. The subway workers' family had hoped that amount would have been higher. However,
we're not even going to think about the bill. We're just going to think positive, and he's indicted. That's the most important thing for us.
If found guilty, Wright faces up to 7 years in prison. MTA Chair Lieber also called for enforcement of a law that would ban Wright from public transit for 3 years if he's convicted.
We don't want people in our system who've already shown a predilection for violence against passengers and especially against our workforce.
Nelson's sister said the city needs to do all it can to boost protection. She calls this case just one among too many.
I ride the subway every day. I'm still going to be nervous. I'm still going to be nervous because just like Alexander Wright, is so many people out there like that.
And Wright is scheduled to come back here to criminal court September 6th for an arraignment. And at arraignments, the defendant has to be present. Expect a very large turnout of people in support of Nelson, the subway worker. Reporting live from the Bronx, outside criminal court, I'm James Ford, Pix 11 News.